We've got those Meta earnings to bring you. Julia Boorstin has the numbers for us. Julia.
Meta beating on the top and bottom line, EPS of $6.43, far ahead of the estimates of $5.28, revenues of $42.31 billion, ahead of estimates of $41.4 billion. That's driven by better than expected ad revenue and a higher than expected operating margin of 41% versus the 37% that's the street account estimate. Daily active people, these are all the people using Meta's family of apps, 3.43 billion, well ahead of the 3.39 billion street account estimate. Now, just want to note here in terms of the outlook, the company is saying it sees second quarter revenue in a range roughly in line with estimates, but they're increasing the full year 2025 capex to between 64 billion and 72 billion, up from the prior outlook of 60 billion to 65 billion, saying this updated outlook reflects additional data center investments to support our artificial intelligence efforts, as well as an increase in the expected cost of infrastructure hardware. You see shares of Meta now about 3%. Back over to you.
All right, Julia, thank you. Barbara Duran, well, this is interesting, particularly that piece at the end, but we got Meta and Microsoft both beating. There have been questions about whether Microsoft's going to pull back on AI and infrastructure investment. We'll have to wait for the call to hear more about that, but we hear Meta via Julia Boorstin saying more capex than expected. That might be, I don't know what you think, a key potential to reverse some sentiment around that super micro headline that we got in overtime yesterday.
Yeah, I think so, because even their last comment about the data center demand, because that was a question about Microsoft, because they were pulling back on some leases. People, is that because of demand? Is it, for other issues? And so that's going to be an important part to hear about, because that was a question. And the CapEx plans are put in place well ahead of time. So, I wouldn't be surprised if they up their CapEx as well, particularly because Azure is going so well. That 33% is a significant beat. I mean, people were actually afraid there would be a decel, because the last quarter it was slightly less than the quarter before that, and as Steve pointed out, the also increasing the percentage of AI for Microsoft in the cloud is important as well, because there's always the question, AI monetization, is it helping? And so I think there's some very sound stuff in Meta. I mean, those numbers are dramatic, and people were concerned about China. We'll see what they say about that, because it may not have shown up yet. As we know, that's about 11% of their revenue, and to see what they're seeing there. But it sounds like their algorithms, their ad algorithms are so powerful, and they have so many things that they are beginning to monetize, like threads and WhatsApp messaging. And so they have a lot of room to grow.